Hello everyone, welcome to the Scumdog's Kennel. I'm your host, Chris Williams, and in today's Cryptid Corner mini-episode, I have a couple of more stories from Chicago of, the current Mothman phenomena going on out there, folks. The first article we'll be reading takes place near West Englewood, and the next will be at O'Hare International Airport. Let's get into the first article. Birdman encounter near West Englewood fence at dawn in South Chicago, and read exactly what the Mothman could have been doing out in that part of the city. In the pre-dawn hours of a winter morning in South Chicago, a startled resident awoke to heavy footsteps on the roof of her apartment. What she witnessed moments later in her backyard aligns with a pattern of winged humanoid reports that have quietly surfaced across the Chicago area for more than a decade. When she looks out the window into the backyard, she is shocked to see a 6-foot-tall black bird-like humanoid with broad wings and clawed feet. Let's read the actual account now. On Friday, February 28th, 2020, I received a telephone call from HS, who lives near the intersection of West 62nd Street and South Pauline Avenue in Chicago's West Englewood neighborhood. HS reported that on Wednesday, February 26th, 2020, at early dawn, around 5:30 a.m. to 6 o'clock a.m. local time, his mother was awoken by footsteps on the roof of their second-floor apartment. She looked out the window into the backyard and saw a big black birdman landing there near a 6-foot fence. It appeared to be hopping and walking as if it were chasing something. The creature then spread its wings and jumped over the wall into the adjacent lot. Based on the fence height, HS estimated the creature was about 6 feet tall with wings over 12 feet wide compared with the width of the double gate. Each gate is 5 feet 10 inches wide near where it was standing. The shape of the wings was undetermined, but they seemed broad and gargoyle-like. There were no distinguishable features on the body except for its double-toed clawed feet, which had a small appendage extending from the back, possibly a spur. Later that morning, HS took photos of tracks in the snow near the fence and in the backyard, as well as a line of tracks in the adjacent lot. He estimated the length of the tracks to be comparable to the size of 11 men's shoe, with the distance of the stride measuring 3 to 4 feet at the longest. Some of the tracks photos could be mistaken for rabbit tracks, but a few anomalous track lines stand out. Here are indeed the tracks, folks. This photo with this track does look like it does belong to whether a large creature, folks, especially with how there are 2 toes, which makes it look really inhuman. Could these be rabbit tracks, folks? I don't really think so, but the line of them really does look bizarrely, like what you'd think real monster trucks would look like. Either way, here's another picture of the backyard as well, folks. Very odd. Do you think that these tracks are indeed real, folks? Especially with this picture of the lot where they were taken. They do look real to me. But let's read on. Here's some commentary notes. Several consistent patterns emerge in this report. The early dawn time frame is common in Chicago area winged humanoid sightings, particularly during the winter months. The auditory component, heavy footsteps on a rooftop, mirrors multiple cases near O'Hare and on the south and west sides, where witnesses first heard movement before visual confirmation. The creature's behavior is notable. Rather than immediate flight, it exhibited terrestrial locomotion, hopping and walking, followed by a mighty leap assisted by wings. This suggests a mass and anatomy inconsistent with known birds native to the region. The clawed double-toed tracks with long stride length further support an anomalous origin. Similar reports between 2017 and 2021 describe black gargoyle-like winged figures traversing fences, rooftops, and industrial lots across Chicago's southern corridor, including areas near rail yards and abandoned properties. Theories range from an unknown cryptid species to an interdimensional or ultra-terrestrial entity temporarily manifesting within urban environments. The absence of facial detail and the shadow-heavy appearance are recurring elements in these cases. Indeed, everyone, there have been numerous cases I've read about over the years of, nearly faceless entities, or people unable to make out the facial features of said cryptids like Mothman, pale crawlers, and even alien beings, folks. Sometimes they say they can see the eyes, and that's about it. Either way, a truly startling account, folks, but we have more. Let's wonder as well, folks, why people are seeing Mothman in Chicago once more, because, as I said, he's being seen there. The next account is red-eyed winged humanoid stages aggressive display at O'Hare International Airport parking lot. And once more, let's read about an account with, this Mothman entity, folks. Then again, maybe it's different from basically a Point Pleasant Mothman, the one in Chicago, But from the accounts I've read, folks, so far and over the years, it sounds definitely that there's some relationship to all these different desperate winged cryptid accounts. Let's read onward, folks. Late one summer night in 2020, two female employees leaving work near Chicago's busiest airport encountered something neither could explain nor forget. What initially appeared to be a large bird revealed itself as a towering winged humanoid whose behavior suggesting intent rather than coincidence. The incident adds to a growing body of aggressive close-range encounters reported near the airport perimeter. On June 30th, 2020, two lifelong friends finished their late shift at FedEx facility near O'Hare International Airport and began walking toward the employee parking lot shortly after 11 o'clock p.m. The area was illuminated by overhead streetlights, providing clear visibility across the lot. As they crossed the open pavement, both women noticed something significant. Flying roughly 20 to 30 feet overhead, at first glance it resembled a massive owl, solid black, moving silently through the air. Moments later, the object descended and landed near the edge of the parking lot. The women paused, watching as the figure stood motionless. They continued to assume it was a large bird until it suddenly straightened upward. At that point, the being appeared to stand approximately 7 feet tall. One of the women screamed, and the figure immediately turned to face them. Both witnesses then observed two glowing red eyes. The reporting witness later stated that the eyes were the most disturbing aspect of the encounter, and that they did not resemble those of any known animal. Almost immediately after making eye contact, the entity spread its wings wide and lunged forward in a sudden aggressive display. Now, could this display have been basically because this entity itself was frightened of these two women, folks? Or was there another reason? I'm thinking here, folks, if this being was, or does choose who cites it, folks, maybe chose these women because it wanted to frighten them and maybe feed off their energy, or maybe indeed this was just a surprise for the entity, maybe even more so than for the women, and it reacted accordingly by trying to frighten them as much as it could so they'd run away. Either way, let's read onward, folks. As it moved, the creature emitted a piercing shriek described as sounding like multiple young girls screaming simultaneously. The sound was loud, chaotic, and overwhelming. Terrified, the women ran toward their vehicle. As they fled, the entity appeared to extend its upper body forward toward them and then took a single step in their direction. Rather than pursuing further, the being suddenly lunged into the air and disappeared within seconds. The women could still hear the shrieking as it flew off into the night sky. Followed by abrupt silence, the reporting witness stated that she had never experienced fear of that intensity and believed they narrowly avoided serious harm. There's also some commentary notes, folks. Observed patterns. The encounter features hallmark traits repeatedly reported near the O'Hare corridor, including red glowing eyes, extreme height, silent flight, followed by sudden vocalization and an apparent intimidation or bluff charge behavior rather than direct pursuit. Now, let's read the next part, folks. Emotional tone. Both witnesses exhibited acute fear responses. One refused all further participation, reporting recurring nightmares and a lingering sense of dread. The second terminated the interview prematurely, suggesting a psychological impact consistent with other high-proximity winged humanoid cases. The next point is, regional correlations. Similar aggressive or demonstrative encounters have been reported in Des Plaines, Bensonville, and Elk Grove Village, particularly between 2018 and 2021, several including lunging motions, shrieking vocalizations, and rapid aerial withdrawal. So that seems consistent, folks, with these reports as well. Yeah, the fact that these women had the same encounter is telling. Now, let's read this next part, titled Theoretical Considerations. While witnesses framed the experience through a religious lens, the behavior aligns more closely with non-human intelligence exhibiting territorial or deterrent behavior. Possible interpretations include an unknown biological cryptid, an ultra-terrestrial entity capable of manifesting a physical form, or an interdimensional presence that relies on intimidation rather than direct engagement. As I said, folks, it could very well be that maybe this entity there was intimidating these two women. Why? As silly as it may seem, folks, but this entity might have been more frightened of them than they were of it. And scaring them was the easiest way for it to get out of there. Either way, folks, we're at the end, so please go subscribe to my YouTube channel, Read Comics That Are Bad For You. You can use the YouTube link down below in descriptions or the chat to go subscribe to me. Hit that like button for me. Make sure you're still subscribed. Leave some comments down below. Hit that bell for notifications. Make sure to hit the part of the bell that'll give you all future notifications, and please share this video out. I'm Chris Williams from the Scumdogs Kennel. Thank you all for joining me. I'll be back again tomorrow with another great video, so be sure to come back again then. Till next time, folks, I'll see you all again soon.